What's up, guys? Welcome back to Weekly Weird News.
It's been months since we've mentioned infamous PharmaBRO Martin Shkreli.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah.
Fine.
And we haven't even really had any reason to do so. And apparently Shkreli's diminishing spotlight and increasing lack of relevance as he awaits trial for securities fraud is really starting to get to him. Those security fraud charges, by the way, are completely separate from his controversy over unapologetically raising the price of a life-saving medication by 5,000%, and also completely separate from the fact that he is the sole owner of the last Wu-Tang Clan, the one-of-a-kind album Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. Totally separate things.
Now, this guy has certainly made a name for himself over the past year by embracing and relishing in all of the controversy and negative press that surrounds him, rather than choosing the more PR-friendly option of just shutting up and waiting for things to blow over, which seems to be a trend.
No one knows how to shut up anymore.
No
just
one knows how to
shut the fuck up.
I gotta say it every time I bring up the Ryan Holiday quote that he gave us on our podcast that he was on.
Yeah.
When you're in a hole, stop digging.
Yeah.
Stop dig. Take the shovel away.
Yeah.
So anyways, for Shkreli, infamy is still fame. And ever since he got a taste of it, he has been addicted to it. Luckily for Martin Shkreli, we live in 2016, and now anyone with any shred of notoriety can use the wonders of social media to stretch their 15 minutes of fame into so much more.
So for Shkreli, that's meant having a very active Twitter account where he simultaneously presents himself as both an arrogant rich asshole and also some sort of populist man of the people who uses the power of 4chan's newest, dankest memes to connect to the young people and give them something to aspire to. He's also just a huge troll and has been pretty clear about that all
He told me to lick his balls.
D's nuts is the words he used.
He told me to lick D's nuts.
Although it is still really hard to tell who the real Martin Shkreli is, or if, like American Psycho's Patrick Bateman, maybe there is no real Martin Shkreli at all. Maybe he's just wearing whatever mask suits the situation best.
I told him to come on the podcast. Me and him would have a great conversation about
Why don't you lick these nuts?
late 90s, early 2000s Screamo. We could talk for hours.
He now denies liking emo.
Really?
He sent a strongly worded email.
Well, I would be too if you called it emo, Elliot. It's obviously Screamo music, not emo.
I might be
music.
wrong.
We're talking Page 99, Jerome's Dream, Seisha, Reversal of Man, all that stuff.
Well, whoever was writing about his music taste, they got it wrong. He's like, actually, I don't like any of that stuff. The only band I listen to is Nickelback. He's a big troll.
Good. Anyways, after months of staying out of the headlines, Martin Shkreli is back in the news cycle, all thanks to the latest and best internet meme, HARAMBE. Guess what? He's bringing him back. Yeah. And we realize that if you're out of the loop on HARAMBE, you're going to be very confused. Maybe wondering to yourself, HARAMBE? He died months ago, and he was just a gorilla. Well, don't say that, because then you're an asshole. He was more than that. And we can only ball our fists in anger for so long. Also, we have to explain to you that, yes, HARAMBE, he was a gorilla that did die back in May when a 3-year-old boy fell into his enclosure in the Cincinnati Zoo. And yes, zookeepers made the difficult choice that they had to save the boy from potentially being torn limb from limb by a 440-pound animal, so they had to shoot HARAMBE to death.
And yes, your memory does serve you correctly. People had a lot of opinions on what happened to HARAMBE. And HARAMBE's death had the unexpected side effect of instantly turning millions of Americans into armchair experts on animal behavior, child psychology, zookeeping, and what have you. The whole thing was a front-page news tragedy in a year already filled with terrorism, gun violence, and political and social unrest. But HARAMBE was also just as quickly forgotten about as 2016's wheels of tragedy just kept on turning. Or was he?
See, here's the thing about HARAMBE. His death was tragic and totally avoidable, but the internet's response to it was disproportionate to a pretty absurd degree, especially in a year when seemingly every week a new sign of the apocalypse rears its ugly head. And how do we deal with tragedy and uncertainty? With jokes, or more specifically in this case, memes. So for a certain portion of the internet, HARAMBE has become an absurdist coping mechanism for dealing with all the crazy shit going on in the world. And whenever a new reason to hate the year 2016 appears, that portion of the internet can now respond with, HARAMBE did not die for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easy to see ourselves in HARAMBE.
Yeah.
A gorilla whose life was cut short for the crime of just being a gorilla.
And being trapped in a cage, essentially. Yeah. It was an enclosure, but he was not in his natural habitat. Like I said, they should have let him have the one kid, just to see if he did rip it limb from limb. And then, if another kid fell in his enclosure, then you can shoot HARAMBE.
Yeah.
And it's less of a big deal. Still a big deal, but...
The senselessness of the whole thing, it's almost poetic. Anyways, maybe we're overanalyzing the HARAMBE meme. It's honestly just fun to say dicks out for HARAMBE. and you can't see it right now, but my dick's out. It is a great rallying cry for our collective modern despair, and it's also just a great rallying cry for literally nothing at all. It's fun to say dicks out for Harambe.
Yeah.
And it's taken the internet by storm. The same internet that Martin Shkreli spends most of his day on, searching for new ways to be edgy and relevant. You can see where this is going.
Yes, on August 6th, just mere hours after seemingly admitting on Twitter that he was the person who actually shot and killed Harambe, Martin Shkreli pulled a complete 180 and tweeted, "Okay, fine. You guys want me to use my powers for good instead of evil? Prepare for the resurrection of Harambe." And attached to that tweet was a screenshot of an email draft that Shkreli had written to a scientist in Japan who had successfully cloned a dead bull. A half hour later, he posted another tweet saying, quote, "We will get there. Bit by bit, we will bring Harambe back," with another screenshot of another email to another research scientist.
So he followed that up with more tweets, later writing, "I will assemble a global team of the world's best genetic and biologic engineers to achieve this goal. He will return. If you're an expert in mesenchymal stem cells, please reach out to me about a new project. Specifically, if you have repopulated dead tissue. Stop making jokes and do some damn research. I can't bring him back alone. Go here and report back what you find." And he provided a link to PubMed, which is a great online library of medical journals.
Yeah, so it seems like Martin Shkreli has finally truly found a way to use his powers for good and be the hero for once. Nah, okay, actually, within just a few hours, he was back to his usual brand of trolling, tweeting, "Will you accept, in lieu of the resurrection of Harambe, myself turning into a half-man, half-Harambe gorilla? With his DNA, it's just easier. Imagine the Shkreli brain in a Harambe body. The possibilities are endless. I've felt like a gorilla most of my life. This transformation will bring out the real me." And then he shared a face morph photo of Shkreli Harambe writing, "It begins! I give you Skarambe!" And that's kind of remained the thing.
That's still his profile picture.
The man had a chance to do, I don't know if it would be considered good, but he had a chance to do something with his money and his talents and bring back something that's beloved by all, except for people that fall in its enclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
And then he just fucked it all up.
Yeah, and after that, he promptly returned to his usual full-on shitposting mode. And now here we are talking about Martin Shkreli. So Martin Shkreli, mission accomplished.
You did it, buddy.
And he's already parlaying his brief Harambe news bump into larger attention by insisting that Hillary Clinton has Parkinson's disease based off his extensive knowledge as a pharmaceutical executive and not at all a doctor or medical professional. And people are listening to that, and the name Martin Shkreli is appearing in the media again, and all is right once again in the world of Martin Shkreli.
Finally, my time again to be At this point, like last year we were like, this guy's a supervillain. At this point, with all the stuff that's been going on, he's like second fiddle to a lot of the stuff that's going on. He's like, it's not even relevant to, if this year was a movie, he would just be someone that you didn't even care about. Like the Joker in Suicide Squad.
He's one of like the goons
He's the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he's the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It's ironic from your last thumbnail.
Yeah, he was the Joker.
He resembles the Joker. He should have played the Joker. But anyway, guys, before we get into headlines, I guess we should do a quick update on what's going on in this wacky and wild American presidential race.
Wait, before that, I do want to say that the whole thing that I found intriguing about this is that the Harambe thing was actually possible. They just did an update on the sheep, I think it was Dolly, and the clones of that sheep are doing fine, they're healthy, they're doing great. So
yeah. They've been cloning animals for 20 years.
Yeah, this isn't
impossible.
Out of the range of possibility. So, guys, if you actually want to bring Harambe back, it is entirely possible. It is entirely we're not bringing back dinosaurs. We already know how that turns out. We've all seen Jurassic Park.
Well, how do we know this new Harambe is going to be a friendly Harambe?
He'll be a fine Harambe, just don't let kids in his fucking cage.
We'll see.
Anyways, yeah, it can happen. That's why I was really excited about it. But it's going to take a lot more than Martin Shkreli to bring Harambe back.
I bet you wouldn't even recognize Harambe in a lineup.
No, I can see, when you show me pictures of gorillas, I can point out the Harambe.
We should do a little
We'll
Harambe
do that
test.
later.
Which of these is Harambe?
Yeah.
Actually, neither of them's Harambe.
Take that.
Fucking fake.
Anyways, back to the political stuff.
Yeah, and politics, so much has been going on.
Yeah.
But no, we're not going to talk about Trump. Not going to talk about Hillary or Mike Pence or Tim Kaine or Paul Ryan or John McCain or Mitch McConnell or any of those people that we're fucking sick of talking about, even though so much good stuff has happened lately. No, what we're going to do is we're just going to let this actual political ad for an actual person running for governor of Missouri play and explain all that you ever really need to know about American politics.
Eric Greitens is under attack from Obama's Democrat machine. They're trying to steal another Missouri election. But Eric Greitens is a conservative warrior, and when he fights back, he brings out the big guns. Eric Greitens, a governor who will set his sights on politics as usual, reduce spending, create jobs, protect life, defend the Second Amendment, and fight Obama's Democrat machine and their corrupt attacks. Good news for us, bad news for them.
I'm Eric Greitens. Join our mission. Let's take back Missouri.
I think he can win. I really do. That guy is saying exactly what America wants to hear, and Americans love hearing people say what they want to hear.
And the sounds of machine gun.
Yeah, that's a beautiful sound.
Oh, it's like music.
They should rewrite the Star Spangled Banner with machine gun fire. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's up to you now, Missouri, and it's up to us to get into headlines. These are the best actual news headlines from this past week, starting with...
Petition calls to change the Bengals name to the Cincinnati Harambes.
Of course.
Oh, it's Harambe fever.
It would be a lot easier if Cincinnati had one of those racist mascots. Well, I guess Ohio does. Are they still the Cleveland Indians?
Yeah.
Yeah. So make it the Cleveland Harambe.
Yeah, but
it's close enough.
Cincinnati's Harambe town.
Yeah.
Like, that's where he spent most of his life, and that's where he was tragically murdered.
Mm-hmm.
They should at least have, like, a Harambe, like, street. Maybe the street that's up against the zoo. Maybe change the name of the zoo to Harambe Zoo.
Some people online actually tricked Google Maps into naming one of the streets in Cincinnati Harambe Drive.
Good. And that, I mean, like, here they could make, like, a Harambe middle school, because Harambe in Swahili means,
all come
like,
together?
Yeah,
I think that's what it means.
It's a very positive word.
It's the national motto.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think it's great. I named my fantasy football team the Cincinnati Harambes as a tribute.
Yeah, and the meme's gonna be just as relevant in
January
and February as it is
It's fine.
now.
I usually get knocked out immediately. I stopped caring weeks into it.
Yeah.
So it'll be the last remaining meme that exists.
I mean, there's more Harambes in Cincinnati than Bengal Tigers.
You gotta admit, it has been prolific in a year dominated by shitty memes like Damn Daniel. Even Dat Boy, we thought that was going to last a little bit longer.
Peaked and then valleyed very fast. And Damn Daniel made me worried about the future of memes. That was the first time I felt that maybe I wasn't with it. And that I used to know what it was, and then it changed. Mm-hmm. Damn Daniel scared me, but
Harambe is something I can get behind.
We're back on track now.
Yeah.
So all is good.
Anyways, moving along. Boston College quarterback Patrick Towles dedicates his entire 2016 season to Harambe. What the fuck? I thought we were done with Harambe.
No. That's the thing. No, you're never done with Harambe. He's still with us.
Yeah. Harambe is the perfect scapegoat for any, like we said earlier, any problem or anything ridiculous in the world. Just make a Harambe joke about it, and it'll be fine.
Oh, he was such a handsome gorilla.
He was.
Even-tempered. We have no evidence that he would have murdered that boy.
Yeah.
In fact,
he murdered Dat Boy because his meme is way bigger. Dat Boy was the real boy that got murdered by Harambe.
We have no reason to believe Harambe wouldn't have been a great friend to that child.
He was protecting him.
He was.
He was protecting him. He was a majestic creature.
According to my eyes, which know nothing about how gorillas function,
wasn't there that story
that
also on a Weekly Weird News months ago about how someone fell in love with the handsome gorilla?
Yeah, that's a Japanese gorilla. They don't shoot guns over there, so he's safe.
Yeah. Okay, clone Harambe. Send him over to Japan, and he's like a swinging bachelor. It's great.
Yeah.
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 And then we do a reality show about it.
Gorilla House.
Harambe. That's our Harambe.
Yeah.
He just comes busting through a door with like his briefcase. Bruh. Yeah. And then he lovingly picks up a child and kisses it. That's our Harambe.
George Zimmerman punched in the face for bragging about killing Trayvon Martin, witnesses say.
Good.
Oh, well, it turns out even if the courts decide you're not a murderer,
bragging about
being a killer.
It will probably piss someone off.
At a fucking, what was the restaurant?
Like Gators or something like that. Yeah, it's the most Florida sounding restaurant
Yeah,
ever.
he was like trying to like hit on chicks, be like, hey girl, I like your tattoos.
I
I'm
killed
George
an unarmed
Zimmerman.
black teenager.
Yeah, you remember me? I killed Trayvon Martin. Then
I did the rebel flag art. Remember all the good stuff.
Some other dude like overheard this conversation like 2 booths over and was like, "Why are you bragging about this?" And he's like, "Hey man, I'm George Zimmerman." The guy fucking clocked him, and that man is a hero.
And on the same day, Dylan Roof, the guy who
shot up the Charleston church,
he got the shit beat out of him in jail.
Good.
And so I can't verify the story now because we're not at our desks, but I did see a viral news story going around that the guy who beat him up got so many donations that he was able to bail out of prison.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for
I
him.
can't verify that. It's probably not true.
Yeah,
If it
might
is,
not be.
that's crazy, but, you know, it was a good day for justice.
I mean, I believe that when the court system fails, sometimes you got to beat a guy up in prison.
Listen.
Or beat him up in a
People should
Gators
be-
restaurant.
People should have some kind of ability to be safe in prison. You don't want violence to happen to anyone. Did Dylan Roof deserve to get punched in the face?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
He deserves much worse.
Yeah.
And
It might have been a look the other way situation by the guards.
well, he apparently has 2 armed guards with him at all times.
And one was
because-
like changing toilet paper. and that's
yeah,
how
they just both happened to like have walked out for a second.
happened to.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Anyways, moving on. North Korea to send a mission to the moon within the next 10 years. Senior space officials say, and that's a senior space official from North Korea, correct?
Yeah, they're doing it, guys.
Yeah, they're going to the moon.
They're not sure how, but they said in 10 years' time they're gonna be planting the North Korean flag on the moon, and they're probably gonna kick over the American flag while they're up there.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
And they're gonna dust off all of the
Yeah.
footprints. And I bet North Korea was like, oh, I'm pretty sure that the moon is made of cheese. I don't believe these lying Americans. They go up there and say there's nothing on the moon to check out.
Yeah.
So we'll go up there and make sure.
Well, Kim Jong-un does have a crippling addiction to cheese.
Cheese? Yeah, that's why he's
Yeah.
going.
He
He's
wants
like,
to know what's
he's
going
telling
on
the
up there.
people of North Korea, he's like, guys, I know it's gonna be expensive and time consuming, but we're gonna go to the moon, and then we're all gonna be eating cheese.
Yeah, he's gonna solve that hunger problem that they
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
with all that moon cheese.
But that's not all the North Korean news.
Yeah, so how are they gonna pull off that moon landing? North Korea feeding workers crystal meth to speed up skyscraper project.
Oh, they're building a skyscraper to the moon?
No. They're just, they're doing some real estate developments. Apparently Kim Jong-un in January, he's like, I want this done by the end of the year. And they're like, sir, that's impossible. He's like, what?
What will it take?
What'll it take?
And they're like, I don't know, I have a crippling addiction to crystal meth, maybe that would help. And he's like, make it so.
Yeah, so they got these workers just like working 18 hours. It's fucking terrible. And also, in reading this article, I found out, and I didn't know this, apparently a large chunk of the global crystal meth narcotics trade comes out of North Korea. That's how because they can't really trade with a lot of countries, so they do a lot of illegal
I wonder
trading.
why that is.
Yeah, they manufacture meth and have it smuggled out of North Korea to be sold in like Europe and the United States. Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte calls U.S. ambassador gay son of a whore. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty much in line with.
Yeah, and
Philippines
it's
is
pretty, it's not that shocking compared to how things have been going in the Philippines since he
It's pretty
took
dire.
office.
What is it? 700 people killed as drug
Yeah,
dealers?
but they're all bad guys.
They're all drug dealers, right?
Yeah,
Sprinkle some crack on them from
Yeah,
North Korea.
it's literally the if you can basically kill anyone in the Philippines as long as the cops show up. They're like, why'd you kill him? I'm like, well, he's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're a hero. Here's a gold star. Congratulations.
Go compete in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's some pretty fucked up shit happening there. There's been a bunch of like, I saw a bunch of photos from like crime scenes of dead people, and they're all like on the ground, and they have like guns in their hands, but like all their family is like,
Yeah, they
these
don't
people
have
did
guns.
not have
Yeah.
guns. This is a bit odd.
Yeah. The man was in church 8 hours a day.
Yeah,
Pound on the pavement for God. Not a drug smuggling
but
gun runner.
Duterte still popular,
Yep.
which shows just how bad things have to be in a country for like random summary executions and death squads to be an improvement.
Anyways, let's move on back to our country.
Yeah, Jeb Bush has been wandering around Boston at night.
Sure. What was his nickname that Trump gave him?
Jeb! Oh no, the nickname he gave himself was Jeb!
Yeah, the exclamation point. It wasn't Lion Jeb.
No, he said Jeb is a mess.
Oh yeah.
But
Why
yeah,
is he walking around Boston?
I don't know. It's some kid that goes to like Emerson College was just walking around at night, and
He's playing Pokemon Go.
posted on Facebook. He's like, I saw a familiar face just walking alone in Boston, and it was Ted Cruz. So
Yeah.
I went up to him and said, "Hey, just wanted to say I appreciate how you stood your ground at those debates." And he was like, "Thank you."
And then he was like, I'm Jeb Bush, not Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what you
And then he said he just wandered off into the night.
You said he was Ted Cruz. It's Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush, yeah.
They all get mixed up.
They're all Jeb, Ted. Who gives
Yeah.
a shit? It's all in the past. It's Trump Town now.
Yeah, we're in Trump Town, baby.
I only have to remember 2 names.
I swear to God, he was playing Pokemon Go. He's like, it's a month on, and he's like, I heard about this hot new app. There's a Magikarp nearby that I'm gonna.
How
scoop
do
up.
I make myself appeal to these youths?
Pokeball.
He's still got one more presidential run in him. Easily.
probably.
Yeah.
A Swedish church to drop Bibles in ISIS-controlled areas or Islamic State-controlled areas.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna
That'll
appreciate
fix
that.
it.
Yeah. It's just
Oh!
like dropping those DVDs on North Korea.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that'll solve all the problems and not just get people who actually find them murdered for no reason, even if they don't open them.
Well, the DVDs in North Korea are actually like, they provide information to
Yeah,
people
yeah.
who have none. But this is like,
This is a holy war. They're starting a holy war.
No one from ISIS is going to stop being a terrorist from reading a Bible that fell from the sky. Actually,
Yeah.
no, it fell from the sky. That's what could be shot from
Could be
heaven.
God,
I don't
yeah.
know. I didn't think about
Because
that.
heaven's right above us in the
Trick
clouds.
them into thinking that God dropped the Christian Bible down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it'll work.
If it's
Maybe
the, old,
these
if it's
Swedes
the
are onto
Old
something.
Testament, they'll be like, oh, this thing's fucking brutal.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, they've got an instruction manual for crazy shit to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
This one just got more Jesus.
Yeah.
Homemade cockroach killing flamethrower sparks apartment fire.
Well, that'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
I mean-
It'll happen every time.
Just because bug spray is flammable doesn't mean
That your
using a
house
lighter
isn't?
in front of it is going to make it more effective.
Hmm.
And you know what? I bet the only thing that survived
Were
was
the
the damn
cockroaches.
cockroaches.
Yeah, we've all played Fallout.
Yeah.
They turn into rad roach.
Yeah, they start burrowing in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Worst.
Huge.
The worst. It's hard to shoot them because they're so small.
It's a mess.
Fuck that.
Tokyo's latest governor wants to convert city into anime land. At least it's not hentai land.
I'm sure there's
Hentai land.
going to be.
They'll do it with the Thailand. Hentai land.
Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't have to change much.
Sure. I'm
already-
going there later this year. Real excited.
Yeah.
Real excited to visit hentai land.
Yeah, but Tokyo's governor, she's all about anime. She's like, you know, people who like anime, they don't get enough respect. Our animation industry is our biggest industry. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, but it's one of our biggest industries. You know what? We're gonna make this place an anime land. I don't know what that means.
What, the whole
but
city?
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
I think that just means like it's just a saying. Like,
We're
you-
gonna
you
build
embrace
giant
it.
fighting robots.
No, they're embracing the culture. I think.
We're
is
gonna
what
make
she's trying to
Tokyo
say.
look like the Tokyo from Akira.
They already built fucking giant robots there.
They don't move though.
Well, that would be an easy fix, I think.
They got the
Well,
Gundam.
whatever happened, did we ever fight them in mechs?
The people, they can't agree on the rules.
No.
Basically, because the American robot is all about like brute force, and the Japanese robot is more about like precision and weapons and shit.
Just like real life.
Yeah, there's this whole fucking, they can't agree on like the terms, and every time they reach new terms, they have to like sort of tweak
Well,
their
if they're
design.
if they're both strong in different areas, then that's perfect.
Yeah, but like they don't want it to be like a situation where like,
Either one's humiliated or something.
yeah, or like,
Who
you know.
cares? It's giant fighting mechs. Just let them go at it.
Yeah.
Do it somewhere in the Pacific.
On a fucking boxing rink in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, on one of the atolls.
No, they should do it on Midway Island, and whoever wins gets to keep the island.
Yeah.
That's how we.
It's perfect.
We finally settle the score
Yeah.
for that completely useless island in the middle of the Pacific that
Mm-hmm.
we all let thousands and thousands of soldiers die on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great idea.
Ryanair passengers caught running across tarmac after missing final boarding call in Madrid. That's safe.
Yeah, and you know what?
Ryanair is the one where you have to like stand like it's a bus, right?
Yeah, this is dumb. Those flights are like 50 euros. They're not expensive. And now this guy is in a Spanish jail. Because obviously he made it on the tarmac, but they're not going to stop the plane and be like, oh,
we
we
forgot
rolled down
someone."
the window.
Yeah, no, it's just like one of those nice bus drivers that sometimes if they see you running, they're like, all right,
All
fine,
right, bud."
get on. It's the same thing with Ryanair because it's essentially a bus with jet
Yeah.
engines strapped to it.
It is. But it's like, okay, the worst case scenario, he would have had to pay another 50 euros to get the next flight. But now he's like in Spanish jail and probably had to bail himself out for a lot more. And he's probably on a bunch of no-fly lists now because he had to breach 4 levels of security. So the Madrid airport's just like, how'd this happen?
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for this week's episode of Weekly Weird News. Check out our episode on the Olympics update that we did. We had a whole week worth of stuff in there if you guys were wondering where it is. On
Dive
Weekly
right
Weird.
into our coverage.
Then we did a podcast with Hal Rudnick from Screen Junkies and also a Tech Tuesday episode about Instagram and Snapchat facing off and stealing each other's stuff. And also, I was on an episode of Screen Junkies with Hal Rudnick this week. It aired on their channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. Check that out. And the more of our fans that go over there and show that they like us, then hopefully we'll get on Movie Fights someday.
Yeah.
It's already in the works. I talked to Andy the other day about it.
The
So
balls are turning.
the balls are turning.
The wheels are moving.
The
balls
balls are
turning.
greased, and they're spinning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.